I began a series a few months ago called Life Lessons with Bunny, and it was lessons that Pom Pom had taught me through the things that he did and his little quirky ways. And I thought it's a shame to finish that just because Pom Pom has passed, so I wanted to continue doing some of those episodes because I'd already made notes in the journal about what I wanted to do, and I thought it was a nice way of honouring him as well. So today's life lesson with Bunny, Pom Pom, is about finding light at the end of the tunnel. Now, Pom Pom absolutely loved tunnels. He had in excess of about 10 tunnels. Some were natural materials, some were fabric, and I used to rotate them for him. He absolutely loved tunnels. Now, Harley, bless him, has had his first tunnel given to him 2 days ago, and yesterday worked out how to actually go through a tunnel rather than just around it. So he is still on the learning curve of enjoying tunnels and got plenty of fun ahead of him. But Pom Pom used to love tunnels, and it was very satisfactory to watch Pom Pom zooming in and out of tunnels as well. Now, we bought Pom Pom a 4-way tunnel off Amazon, and it was one of the best buys that we made basically for Pom Pom. And the first day we had it, we put it out on the spacious landing, and he was zooming, and he zoomed in and out of this 4-way tunnel. So you'd see him go in one exit, out the other, in one, out the other, in one, out the other, and you couldn't keep up with which one he was going in and out of. And I think to them, tunnels are very much like their burrows, as they would burrow in the wild. Now, in the wild, they would burrow underground, and they would spend most of their time living in those burrows underground and then coming out to play, to eat, and other things during the course of the day or the evening or at night when they come out and play. There's an area where we drive past sometimes, and you see them very late at night if you're coming home very late at night. Came home from hospital once late at night, and they were all over the area, binking and zooming all over these wild rabbits. So that is what they do. Now, in burrowing underground, the first thing they have to do is break ground. They have to actually make that first entrance into the ground, and from then they can continue burrowing through to their final achievement and their burrows that they create. So it's the thought of burrowing in the wild that the first step is always going to be the hardest. So wherever you're going, whatever you're setting out to do, that first step is always going to be the hardest. Now, once you pass that initial hurdle and you've broken ground and you've got some way into where you want to go, from there on in, it's fairly straightforward. And they will burrow through and continue that burrow. Now, in terms of tunnels that Pom Pom loved, and he loved going in and out of tunnels, his favourite one was a seagrass one, by the way, just an extra bit of info here. His favourite one was a seagrass tunnel, and he used to love chewing it whilst going through, and that was really fun as well for him. I actually got him 2 of those because the first one was quite well worn. So the tunnel, when you enter the tunnel, as Harley is now, it's a bit daunting. What do I do with this thing? It's quite large. Am I supposed to go around it? Am I supposed to go through it? There is the thought that if you go round it, you're avoiding what possibly you might have to go through that may actually be a really nice experience from just the fear of what is in that tunnel. So going around it isn't going to achieve what you want to get to, and where you want to go is through the tunnel. Go through that experience, even if it is a little bit tough, it will get you where you want to go. Now, there is always, as the old saying goes, light at the end of the tunnel. And however long that tunnel is, Pom Pom had long dark fabric tunnels with holes in that you could peek his head through on the way. So you've got little glimmers of light on the way through that dark path that you're going through. Whether it's a short tunnel, whether it's a tunnel you have a nibble on your way through, there is always that light at the end of the tunnel, and you will eventually get there. And it's that light at the end of the tunnel that will shed its light on your journey, however dark that is, and eventually you will get there. And the feeling of satisfaction when you reach that light, and the feeling of emotional relief when you reach that light. And the journey could be anything. The journey could be a physical journey that you have to make. It could be a journey through darkness and difficulty that you have to make. It could be a journey through something that you're doing at work that you're undertaking that you're not sure how it's going to end. That light is always there, and that light is going to guide you through, and you are eventually going to get there, and that light will be glorious at the end when you get there and you see it. But you have to put in that hard graft, that hard work, and you have to keep going forwards. If you go back out of a tunnel, you're going to have to start again to go through it. So keep going forwards, keeping that forward motion, and keep going towards where you're heading, because you will get there. And it's that positive thinking of, I will get there. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I will get there. I will make it. Now, one other thing I want to share about Pom Pom, which I think was unique to Pom Pom, was that he made his own exits as well. So initially, Pom Pom had a cardboard castle. If you look back over older videos in the previous house, before we invested in a J&S Wood Hobby pine castle, which his ashes are kept in at the moment, and Harley has his second castle that we got in the 2-story one. Before we invested in that, we had a cardboard castle from hop to forage. If you're thinking of getting one, they've got a few in stock at the moment. And Pom Pom loved his castle. He loved being in there, he loved napping in there, he loved going at the top and keeping on lookout. But there was one thing wrong with his castle. It had an entrance to go in at the bottom, and you could go up to the second floor. There was also an entrance on that side. You could jump directly to the second floor. But on this side, there were just windows. He hadn't figured out that there wasn't an entrance there at the time in the model they had. So Pom Pom decided to persevere and do what he needed to do to create that exit. Now, Pom Pom, from very, very young, we realised, only liked hideouts where there was an entrance and an exit. And that is true for a lot of bunnies. Some bunnies, however, find it comforting to go into a little dark hideout that only has one entrance and one exit. And they like to hide in there and they feel safe in there. But Pom Pom was one of these that used to like to go in and out and be able to see an exit when he went into this dark area, so that he knew there was a clear path to get out if he needed to. Or he could just see if I was coming with treats. So this cardboard castle he began to demolish, construction, whatever you want to call it, and he made himself an exit, life-size exit that he could then jump in and out of. Now that wasn't there to start with, and I would just say, if you have a bun that likes to chew on cardboard and eat cardboard a lot, then don't go for the cardboard option. Pom Pom in the early days, I noticed, was ripping bits of cardboard off without eating them. He would just drop them out of his mouth and cast them aside. So this was a project that Pom Pom took upon himself to create that exit and that way out. And initially he started it off, and then I tidied it up for him. And then he found he had the exit ready and he could jump straight on and off that way as well, which is what he wanted. Now he didn't give up, he kept persevering, he kept digging away at that bit of cardboard until he'd made his exit. So there was a way out of that place. And if you're in a situation that's difficult, maybe you need to persevere at going through it, or find your own unique way through it or out of it. So as Pom Pom did, create that exit that you can then go through safely to get to where you want to go or to enjoy what you want to enjoy. So tunnels taught me a lot of lessons. Pom Pom going in and out of tunnels, Pom Pom's perseverance taught me a lot of lessons, and hopefully you'll be able to get some sort of life lesson from Pom Pom and his tunnels for your situation today.